The longest-running off-road and action motorsports radio show on the planet is coming to you live with the biggest guest in motorsports. Here is the only man on the planet who can pack this much dirt slinging and tire slaying into 2 hours a week. Sit back, strap in, and be prepared to get your ears blown. Here is Jim Beaver and the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
Welcome to this week's Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here, and we're doing it a little bit different. It's all killer, no filler this week. All about the interviews, all about the guests. We are changing up the format, less commercials, more content. You guys are gonna love it. We have a laundry list of guests this week. Kicking things off, we'll have my good friend Alex Striler. You know him as an author. He's a motorsports marketing expert. He is on the show this week. He's also going to be out at SEMA with our good friends at Momo Weld doing a sponsorship summit on Tuesday at Speed Las Vegas. You can hit up Momo's social media for more information on that. But definitely, if you are a motorsports person, you want to be there at that summit. If you're at SEMA, you're going to learn a lot from the best, literally the best in the business, Alex Striler. Also got Carl Schubitzke, the new president of Championship Off-Road. Yes, the new Midwest Short Course Series. We're going to have him on the show. We're going to have Chris Leone with a massive dose of power rankings, as well as Tiffany Stone. I am en route to SEMA and the Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame. I'll be hosting the Hall of Fame on Sunday. I've got a bunch of appearances at SEMA. Be watching my social media for that. We're doing a live show with RacingJunk.com as well as Rigid Industries. T. Stone and I will be. We got R.J. Anderson lined up as a guest, Sarah Price, and a whole lot of others. So, man, a lot of content going to be dropped next week on our channel. So like I said, doing a little bit different this week. We got some massive news out of off-road. I would suggest you hit me up on social media or on the website if you want me to dive into that. But the next couple of weeks, we really will start dissecting that. Project Actions dropped this week. I got Rutledge Woods there. And also on the off-road edition, we've got an expanded version of this interview with Carl Schubitzke. So check us out on all of those. I am going to time out here, and we are going to take a short commercial break. And then for the rest of the show, man, it is all interviews. You guys are going to enjoy this one. Take it easy. Be safe. And, we're going to start this crazy interview-filled episode right after this break. Want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm R.J. Anderson, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris Razor because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRazor.com or follow at Polaris Razor on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story.
4WP is more than a store. We're truck and Jeep experts and have been for over 50 years. From wheel and tire upgrades to full custom builds, 4WP has you covered. Whether you want to order the best parts online or shop in store, do the work yourself, or get it done by a pro, all roads lead to 4WP. Do your rig right. Shop online or find your store at 4WP.com.
For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. When looking for a new wheel for your off-road vehicle, car, truck, or UTV, the choice is easy. You choose what the pros use. Rob McCachran, Keegan Kincaid, and myself, Jim Beaver, all exclusively use Vision Wheel, whether we're dominating Baja, taking the cup at Crandon, or shredding UTVs. Vision Wheel's trend-setting designs and durability will set you apart from the competition and your friends. Check out VisionWheel.com or at Vision Wheel on social media to learn more. Super ATV is the industry leader in aftermarket UTV and ATV parts and accessories. Super ATV products are designed, engineered, tested, and manufactured right here by Super ATV. Whether you're looking to upgrade your suspension, get stronger axles, or you're looking for a new winch to get you out of a tough spot, Super ATV has what you're looking for. And since we know you're in a hurry, we offer fast, free shipping to the lower 48 states on all orders. Visit superatv.com now and get your UTV or ATV dialed in.
Like what you hear? Catch all the back episodes of the Down and Dirty Radio Show on Apple Podcast, and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe.
Oh, man, that was a hell of a ride. Go check out mymedic.com for the best first aid kits on the planet and save 15% with discount code Jim Beaver. Again, mymedic.com, discount code Jim Beaver, and save 15%. It's cheaper than a funeral.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'd like to welcome a good friend of mine, Alex Striler, to the line. Alex, it's been a while since we caught up, at least on air anyways. I think it's actually been a while just in general, but welcome to the show, my friend.
Thanks, Jim. It's good to be back. Yeah. Good to see you at Lucas a little while back in the office there. You're doing a lot of work. But the radio, it's been a year and a half, 2 years now, I think, right?
Yeah, I was going to think. You and I went and had some lunch, and I think it's been probably a year and a half now. But I know you've got a lot going on. I know here SEMA week is upon us. I know for anybody in the industry, it's kind of I think we're pinned full tilt. But not only that, but you've got a little something special going on with our friends there at Momo Weld.
Yes, starting to work with several brands, Momo Weld being some of them. As the older you get, time flies, so things happen so fast, and you start to do so many things, it's sometimes hard to keep track of everything. But it started after I left Lucas around February to start working with other companies. ITW Group was one where I helped Slime, Joe Bowman, the marketing director over there, do a 30th anniversary promotion, doing a Terex giveaway through AutoZone stores. Meanwhile, Kelly Wilmore over from MW Group, which is Momo, Weld, and several others, said, there's a good opportunity with these brands because they got some great new owners that are looking to expand into some new markets and also reestablish in some motorsports markets. And I was like, ooh, I love that because I love the brands and I love the people. So started working with Kelly, and we decided we're going to do a sponsorship summit. What racers need more than anything is money. And I hear all the time from racers, how do I get more money? What's the best way to approach a sponsor? What can I put in a deck or a proposal? So Momo and Weld are hosting a free sponsorship summit during SEMA. It's going to be after SEMA on Tuesday, November 5th at the Speed Vegas racetrack, where a few of us are getting up, and we're going to teach racers pretty much everything they need to know that they should be putting in their decks and proposals for raising money in 2020. Everything from why to brand sponsor, how to create effective sponsorship, how do you value your assets, what are your assets? There's both tangible and intangible assets. Sometimes a lot of race teams forget about their intangible assets, but there's a lot of value behind those that brands would want. So it's pretty much a free sponsorship summit. Come one, come all. And hopefully afterwards, I think we'll arm the racers with a lot of tools so that they can go out and approach sponsors for next year with quite a very intelligent and logical arsenal that I think will speak the same language that marketing directors want to hear. It's no longer just about selling exposure, but it's about giving sponsors what they want.
Well, and I think that's a key point there, and I think a lot of people, in one way, shape, or form, I think a lot of racers in general, and I come across this all the time, and I get, I've helped people put together decks and things like that, and a lot of people want to talk about exposure. Hey, our logo was seen on TV for X amount of time. I'm like, yeah, but everybody's logo's on TV nowadays. It's not that big of a deal, But I think what they get, and I know you personally, your books. I know when I started things, I went back to X-Play, and I've probably read that book 3 or 4 times at this point. You know what I mean? And, and obviously you've got to follow it, but I think it really teaches, drivers how to really utilize all of their assets. And I think I think a lot of racers sometimes forget they have certain assets, and I think what you do and teach, it brings some of that to the forefront, and it's more about the total package and what you can offer somebody, and I think a lot of people, they don't realize that some of the things that they're sitting on actually are really valuable, and they just never really exercise it, I guess.
And it's not only that, but and you're right, they don't take advantage of some of the assets that they have and when those assets are occurring, because they don't realize it. And what I mean by that is probably the most important thing that a team can do to renew a sponsorship is to send out at the year end a proof of performance report. And the proof of performance report shows everything you did that race season that benefited the sponsors. But what I've seen happen a lot is that race teams will put the proof of performance report together right at year end, January, December, January, February, and then send it out and say, oh, here's what we got you, as opposed to collecting the information and the data all year long. The best proof of performance reports start getting prepared on the first day of the racing, and photographs are taken and media clips are taken, and just any type of content that shows how a brand is represented through the racing, whether it's during the race or promoting the race or between races when you're promoting your sponsors. That's all content that goes in a proof of performance report that shows what you're doing. And I think that's where a lot of racers fail to get more value from sponsorships, because they put it together at the year end real quick as opposed to compiling that data all year long. For example, I represent Mitchell DeYoung. Mitchell's a great young racer, multi-time champion, everything from off-road to street racing, rally. Now he's in the world's fastest gamer video game competition. You know about that. You have iRacing teams. And Mitchell is collecting content right now that will go in a year-end performance report. He's going to be at the PRI show with me, and he's going to get up and speak about how to represent sponsors. Hopefully he'll be able to attend the sponsorship summit in Las Vegas at Speed Vegas on the 5th. And that's all content. So if, as Mitchell's agent, I create that content, I take that content, I put it in a folder, essentially, I archive it, and then at the end of the year, put it all together into a more, a nicer looking media publication that sits out, and that's a proof of performance report. So the POP is something that needs to be done all year long as opposed to once a year. And if you know that, just like a videographer, when a good videographer takes videos and footage of a race or an event, he's planning out in his head, in his mind, how it's going to look in the future as he edits the show. And that's how you have to think about the POP report, is you think all year long, what am I doing now? How's it going to fit in the POP report? How's it going to look for sponsors? What value am I adding to sponsors? And then it also helps keep racers on track and on focus by sort of reminding them, hey, you're here to race. Yes, you want to win, but you're also here because you're a brand ambassador for a company that's paying you to represent them. And it's kind of a good reminder of what we do in racing. So those are the things that we're going to cover. That's one of the many topics we're going to cover on Tuesday at the SEMA Sponsorship Summit.
Well, and I think, like I said, I've read your books multiple times, and, I haven't actually had the opportunity to hear you speak, but I know Mitchell, just what he's doing and just the transition he's made from, traditional race cars into, now into the sim racing world and things like that. It's just absolutely remarkable. But, I think there's something for everybody at one of these, and not only just racers, but, we want to talk about brand managers and marketing directors and things like that. I think there's one thing I love about what you've done is you've put something out there, whether you're speaking or through your books, that either side can take things from, and I think it really lays out some of the expectations, what a sponsor wants out of a driver, but, also, what a driver needs to be giving a sponsor. And, it's one thing I love about the way you've approached things is it's good for all sides,
Well, the purpose of marketing is to increase sales. And a lot of people forget that. And sponsorship is a form of marketing. It's a form of marketing that brands will use when they can't personally, or when they don't have the personnel resources to go in certain geographic areas or in certain lifestyle areas or certain cultures, then they sponsor people, or they're called properties, in sponsor talk, a brand will sponsor a property that can bring them into a market where they're not yet familiar. It'll maybe open up new distribution channels, or it will create more recognition, hopefully increase sales. But you need to view a sponsorship as an extension of a marketing arm of a company where the marketers can't send their own people. They don't have the resources. So the driver or the team becomes that resource. But the driver has to go there knowing he or she is going to go race and represent, but also knowing that as a representative, you're representing the company's marketing department, and marketing is a part of sales, obviously. So the purpose is to try to go and create more sales. When you go into a new market, it's a good idea to, look around and what are the distribution channels for selling that brand's products into that new market, or what are the new customers perhaps that aren't familiar with the product that the racer can introduce the product to and show those customers. So I think racers love to race. That's just, that's what we do. We like to go fast and it's fun. But if someone's paying you to race, then you have to consider their perspective as well. And that's it. They're trying to sell something. They're trying to either sell their product or they're trying to sell their brand. You need to go and have a high value for the brand so the brand equity goes up. Meanwhile, you want to create a lot of visibility for the products and educate customers about the products so that sales go up. Sales is or revenue, let's say, is quantity times sales. Quantity can be increased through marketing and advertisement. So if revenue is quantity sold times sales, if you sell more products, sales will go up. But let's say you can't sell more products. If you can raise prices, then revenue will still go up. So revenue equals sales times higher prices, and higher prices comes from strong branding. So a racer should go out and constantly think, how do I sell more products for my sponsors? But also, how do I represent my companies, my sponsors? How do I represent those brands so that their brand equity increases in value and so that the company itself has more goodwill and rises? And those are the things that we'll cover. I think that those are really important topics that once everybody starts doing that, more money will come back into the racing community. And I think motorsports can do really well when we see new money coming in.
Yeah, it's funny through all that, it reminded me of one of my favorite people to interview. He's become a very good friend of mine, but Antron Brown, and he's a guy that, he's self-made, and he's one. When Matco Tools, one of his sponsors, he actually went, all right, so if we're going to do this, he actually went to training and went to school just like these new Matco truck drivers or dealers do, and he went through the same training that they do, and now he's to the point where he can actually go and talk with dealers and tell them how to sell products and things like that. And you want to talk about a guy who's taken being a brand spokesman to a whole new level. I don't know many people that would actually put themselves through the same training that dealers do, but Antron was one of those guys, and I just, through all that, I kind of took that away, and I go, that's Antron to a T right there.
And that's awesome. He did it right, because a lot of times the tool companies, they're not only trying to sell tools, they're trying to sell franchises. And to sell a franchise, you have to understand the business that supports that franchise. So you have to know the ins and outs of the business. So he's there representing, potentially finding new business owners. Maybe there's some guys out there who want to start a franchise. Well, if he can speak the language and explain the products and the processes, then now he's representing the company. Not only will he sell more tools, but he might actually sell more business units and franchises for the business. And that's what it's all about. You have to understand, when you're representing a sponsor, you should know who you're representing and represent them in a way that they need to or want to be represented. And a lot of times that's just because you have to have a good match. You have to have the right person representing the right brand. Sometimes there's mismatches, and that's unfortunate. I think they just need to be changed. But Antoine's doing a great job. I think that's the way all drivers should do it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know we're running up against a time break, Alex. I know you and I, we know we can talk for hours at this point, but give us the details one more time. I know people, if they want to come, it's free for everybody. What are the details, though? I know it's Tuesday night at SEMA there at Speed Vegas.
It's going to be free for racers, their crews, their teams, their family. If you're a salesman trying to come and sell an insurance policy, then it's going to cost you money. I don't think it's free for everybody. It's going to be free for racers, teams, crews, and I think $99 price tag for media and other non-racing entities. But it is at Speed Vegas. That's that really cool track on the 15 right after Prim. as you're going into Las Vegas. Really cool place. Get to test drive all kind of cool cars, and it's really fun. It's a nice environment, real classy too. It will be Tuesday, November 5th, from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. There'll be several people there, several brand managers. I've heard that Enrique Cisneros is confirmed. He's the chairman of Momo Weld. Joe Bowman from Slime told me he's going. He's part of ITW Group, obviously. I'll be there. I know a few others who said they would go, but they're not confirmed, so I won't mention the names just in case that they don't go, then they don't get in trouble. But it's going to be a pretty neat crowd. And I think more than anything, the racers who attend will walk away with information that will give them a much better chance of raising money next year from race teams or from sponsors for their race teams.
Yeah, no, I agree. And, well, I appreciate you taking the time, Alex. I know you're busy. You got a book to finish up that I know we're all excited, anxiously awaiting seeing that hit shelves. But I appreciate the time, my friend.
Thank you, Jim, man. I look forward to seeing you. I'll see you in a few days.
Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? Dirtfish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle. Dirtfish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZs, Dirtfish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, Dirtfish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit Dirtfish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from Dirtfish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dirtfish Rally.
Like what you hear? Catch all the back episodes of the Down and Dirty Radio Show on Apple Podcast, and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'd like to welcome, I guess, a new president of Championship Off-Road. Carl, welcome to the show, my friend. I guess a lot has happened since you and I saw each other at Crandon, man. I think that's the easiest way to put it.
Yeah, it's been extremely busy, but all in a good way. A lot of positive things, and thank you for having me. And I'm glad to be on here and talking about our exciting new adventure.
Yeah, well, and I know, I think a lot of people, familiar with you from ISOC and the Snowmobile Series. Obviously, this show, our listeners, we've covered covered snowcross for years at this point, and so I think they're familiar with the series and things. And I guess the first kind of inkling that I got was like, I think they're trying to do a little bit more there at ISOC. Was I know this year out at Heydays, you guys had some side-by-side racing there, and it was kind of a different format and things like that. And kind of tell me, how did things steamroll into where we're at now with Championship Off-Road? Because, like I said, between Crandon and now, it's been about a month and a half, and a lot has happened.
Yeah, as a company, we do a lot of different projects, a lot of them to do with television. And, of course, during the winter, our main focus is the snowmobile and all the shows associated with it and running the events and the series. And in the summer, we do, from jet ski racing to rallycross to live streaming truck racing and things like that. But we always, we love racing. Most of the people that work here are all ex-racers, me included. And we like being at events. We love racing. So we've always, been interested in doing a summer project, a series of sorts, because we like the event management side as much as the, promotion, television, live stream side. So it just kind of happened, that they were approached by the tracks, and we're talking about the future and things like that, and we're able to get together, and a lot of our thoughts aligned, and we came to an agreement that, hey, we want to work together, we want to grow this thing, we want to start from scratch, we want to build something stable, something that people are proud of. Like our biggest thing and our main focus is racers. We want racers happy. We want to listen to their needs and kind of just start from scratch and build something that I think will be cool. And I think a lot of the things that you'll see in the future and what we'll develop along with everyone. I mean, it's a team effort. It's not just me. I think people will be, pleasantly surprised and excited about what we have to offer and what we'll be doing next summer.
Well, and I think, I look at things, and my first instinct is I'm very familiar with snowcross, and I've got a lot of friends that race in the series or are team owners and things like that, and I know what you've done there, and obviously you guys have a great relationship with most of the power sports companies, so I think that transitioned well into the UTV side of things of Championship Off-Road, but I think some of your corporate partners that you deal with, I mean, I know Ram is one of them, and you guys deal with a lot of the energy drink companies, and I mean, some of the branches of the military, things like that. Like, I think you guys have a foot in the door with a lot of these companies that are actually a really, really good fit for off-road.
And I think so as well. And we've already started conversations with, the people you mentioned, Sunoco, U.S. Air Force, and a bunch of our other corporate partners. And that, hey, this is a really cool opportunity. And fortunately for us, those partnerships have been long-term, some of them 10 years. So, they trust us in our decision making, and they know if we say something, we're going to, do it and live behind it. Because to me, when every truck race I've ever been to, it's fantastic. I mean, as a fan, as a motorsport enthusiast, when you're sitting next to the track, your blood, rushes, and it's exciting. And that's the ultimate goal, is to create a series that the racers are super excited and happy to be part of, and that the partners are excited to be part of, and just kind of showcase it to the world as much as we can. I'm a conservative guy, and I don't have unrealistic expectations, but I think, it's a really, really cool sport and something that, I'm excited to be a part of. And honestly, I've been ecstatic ever since. And I think our entire team is we enjoy it. We love it. We love racing. So we're excited to start this next chapter.
Well, and I think, obviously you've got a great core group of tracks. I know, Dirt City's been a part of kind of, I guess, a sportsman program for a while. It sounds like, they're now going to get a national event. I look at this and you've got such a great core group of tracks there with ERX and Crandon and Bark River, and obviously just Dirt City, as I mentioned, they're in the Midwest. But, I know one thing you've done with snowcross is you've taken a very regional motorsport, and you guys have been really, really good about really pushing that out as far as you possibly can, and I think is that, some of the long-term goals, and I'm not saying year one or year two, but, ultimately to kind of branch it out and reach some of the places in the country where maybe we're not having off-road racing right now?
No, absolutely. I mean, that's the goal. Obviously, going back to being, careful in our decision making and things like that. I want this to be long term, so I want to make strong, educated decisions with a group of people that have a lot of knowledge. But at the same time, that's our goal. To expand. We have relationships with venues out east. We have relationships pretty much everywhere in the U.S. Fortunately for us, because we've been doing events. This weekend I fly down to Naples, Florida for a jet ski event. So, that's the ultimate goal. And from, a standpoint of, sponsors and exposure, the national footprint is the best direction. And that's our, ultimate goal. But at the same time, to me, the sportsmen, the grassroots racers are clients. I always want to keep them involved, and I always want their input, because realistically, at least for us on the snow side, the two have to work together, because they're the future of the sport. They're the next pros. So again, just all working together and, making good decisions and trying to do what's best for the racers, the sport, the sponsors. And I think, I'm a pretty positive guy. So I think it can be done. I think we can create something that's cool and different, and something that a lot of partners will be involved with. We can, make a large national footprint, and a lot of the racers are excited to be part of. So again, just all positive, all exciting. And, we've already gone to work for the last, 4 weeks, and we'll just continue to do so until, the end of time pretty much. But as long as we're ahead of it. So
yeah. Well, and I know going on the internet and reading some of the posts and some of the forums and things like that, and on Facebook and some of the various groups, I think the first thing, one thing I've always, honestly, and it goes hand in hand. I know Snowcross obviously has had, a great TV package, but your guys' live streams have always just been phenomenal. And I think that was one of the big things that everybody got so excited about was just what you guys bring to the table as a media company, and with your live stream production, that's TV quality and things like that. I think immediately everybody was like, all right, Off-Road is going to have this amazing live stream package in the Midwest now, and I think that, me as a fan, that's got me excited about it for sure.
Well, like us and me included as a culture, like everything is on demand. You want to watch what you want to watch, and you want it available, when you want to watch it and when you need it. So our live stream package, like we treat it like it's live television, and we send it out to, multiple different areas. And we have a great long-standing relationship with live stream that helps us get fantastic numbers and make it available. And that's the future. And then our goal is obviously have the races on demand immediately after. So if you missed it Saturday, say, you couldn't partake, you couldn't watch a live streaming, that you can click on the website and watch the races from the day before. To me, that stuff is really, really important, because that's how people are consuming, television now. It is a live stream platform world, and television has its place, and we can work hand in hand, but our definitely priority is live stream, making it available and doing a good job at it. So,
yeah. So, all that being said, I know obviously we've got this going on, but I know you juggle plenty of hats. I mean, I generally, it's kind of the ongoing thing. I think every year since I've been doing the show to kick off snow season or snowcross season, I get Levi LaValle on the show. I haven't texted my buddy Levi yet, but what can you tell us about the upcoming snowmobile season? Because our listeners of the show are off-road fans, but they're also pretty anxious about the kickoff of snow season. And here we've got you on the show. So what can you tell us to expect in the 2019-2020 snowcross season?
Well, it's like I was saying a little bit earlier, it's here in Minnesota. If anyone's in the area, it's about 30 degrees. They're making snow. Guys will be on the track as soon as this weekend, from my understanding. And 30 days until we kick off our 28th running of Duluth Spirit Mountain National. AMSO is the title sponsor there. And for the season, we're excited. And the biggest reason is there's a lot of guys that can win. We have a defending champion, Elias Isho, but also, there is 5 or 6 guys. And from a series standpoint, like, that's exciting for us because, man, there's a lot of different winners. The racing's going to be fantastic. We got some new venues that people are really going to like this year. And it's been, I've been very fortunate, our team's been very fortunate that it's been going fantastic and great. We've been growing each and every year. So we hope, that we get good weather this year and that everything will go fantastic. But it's going to be here very, very quick, which is a good thing.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing. I know that's one thing, it's, to me, it's like you've got Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Snowcross. It's like they just all, it's like I've got that weekend planned out. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, I know what's going on. And I love that you guys have, you've just embraced it,
And that kind of goes back to all racing. Like, I've spent so many weekends with family. That's the best thing about racing. And if you talk to anyone in the snowmobile industry, they've always spent Thanksgiving in a parking lot in Spirit Mountain. And I mean, the same, it crosses all lines that, racing is a family effort. It is a group effort. And a lot of those are just memories, and memories like that, like eating Thanksgiving dinner in a parking lot and laughing about it, but there's no place you'd rather be. You want to be at the track and you want to be with your family. So it's a cool, really, really cool thing that, again, just fortunate to be part of. And I always get excited to racing. I don't like when we're not, in between events. I'm looking forward to seeing Duluth and seeing the best athletes in the world make it look easy. And it should be a great season. And then the best part about it is we get to do it again in the summer now, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah. Well, talking about that, obviously I know the website's launched. You guys have social media accounts with Championship Off-Road launched. Where can people find out more information? Obviously, we'll be talking about on our show and on the website, but, what's for people who want to keep in the know and in the loop, what's the best way for them to do that, Carl?
Yeah, I think champoffroad.com will be constantly updating. And, of course, there you can go to any of our social media sites, and we have a lot of people on the back end right now, getting interviews and getting content, because that's what we want to do. Also, we want to build stars of these people because they're fantastic stories, and we want to promote that. We want to promote the sport. So, again, if you just go to the website, you'll be able to find any and all information. And, of course, we'll be sending out constant updates as, things develop here, because it'll be coming up quick that we'll be getting, rules and things like that out to the public, which, again, will be a group effort. My goal is to get really smart people that, have knowledge and unbiased, and we just all work together to make the sport great. So,
yeah, well, I agree, and I appreciate the time, Carl. Thank you so much for calling into the show. I can tell you, I am excited to not only for Snowcross here in a month, but for Champ Off-Road next year. And thanks for the time on the show. I'm sure we'll have you on again soon as we get closer to the kickoff.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for having me. And of course, if anyone needs anything, they can always reach out to us if they have any questions, or that's what we're here for. So, thanks.
I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it. So when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our RZR vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of RZR vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a RZR 170 like me, take the entire family out in a RZR XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new RZR XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full Polaris RZR lineup at Polaris.com, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Anywhere is possible. It's more than just a slogan. Anywhere is possible with General Tire's wide variety of tires for whatever it is that you drive. Whether you're looking for off-road capability balanced with impressive on-road performance, or ultra-high performance offering all-season traction designed with a driving enthusiast in mind, General Tire has what you need to get where you're going. General Tire, providing anywhere is possible with a Down and Dirty radio show since 2012. Do you race, or are you a weekend warrior? Have you checked on the date on your helmet recently? Don't get caught off guard by using an outdated helmet. Impact Racing, the leader in motorsport safety, has new SA 2015 helmets to fit your budget. Whether you're looking for a helmet with a full carbon fiber shell to take you to victory at the Indy 500, or just looking for some helmets for a weekend at Glamis, Impact Racing has a helmet for you. Find out more information at impactraceproducts.com or on Facebook at Impact Safety. When looking for a new wheel for your off-road vehicle, car, truck, or UTV, the choice is easy. You choose what the pros use. Rob McCachran, Keegan Kincaid, and myself, Jim Beaver, all exclusively use Vision Wheel, whether we're dominating Baja, taking the cup at Crandon, or shredding UTVs. Vision Wheel's trend-setting designs and durability will set you apart from the competition and your friends. Check out visionwheel.com or at Vision Wheel on social media to learn more. Super ATV is the industry leader in aftermarket UTV and ATV parts and accessories. Super ATV products are designed, engineered, tested, and manufactured right here by Super ATV. Whether you're looking to upgrade your suspension, get stronger axles, or you're looking for a new winch to get you out of a tough spot, Super ATV has what you're looking for. And since we know you're in a hurry, we offer fast, free shipping to the lower 48 states on all orders. Visit superatv.com now and get your UTV or ATV dialed in.
You're listening to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. All killer and no filler.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'd like to welcome my media director, Chris Leone, to the show because it is time for our weekly dose of power rankings. And this week, I don't know, I felt like things were a little bit light. We had some NASCAR, some short course, obviously, Chris, but I just felt all in all, man, this is kind of a lightweight week. A lot of IndyCar news, and some other things going on. But our buddy Hinch, I guess, is out of a ride, which sucks. But I don't know. I felt like it was a little bit of a light week.
Well, Jim, first of all, happy Halloween. This is probably the first time that anybody has ever called into the radio show wearing a full-on Ricky Bobby costume. I didn't realize that I was going to be the only person in the iRacing office in costume today, but it went over real well. So, I am certainly in my race car driver mode. But yeah, no, definitely an interesting weekend. For certain. Obviously, we had Lucas Oil Off-Road Champions crowned. We had Stadium Super Trucks finally back in Australia. We had NASCAR. We had Formula One. We had pretty much everything you could really ask for. Going into a late season weekend. Obviously things taper off a little bit after the summer, but it's just proof positive that some weekends in the fall and even closing into the winter can really provide some exciting action.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I got to tell you, the Lucas races did not disappoint. I was fortunate to be able to call him for Lucas Oil TV, and probably, and he didn't make my list because he didn't actually win. He ended up getting the championship. Probably, I would say, one of the most remarkable performances of the whole weekend across the board in motorsports had it been Elliott Watson in Pro Buggy and Lucas. This kid, literally, he was in a battle with Chris Nunes for the championship, and going into the final, going into the race, 1 point separated Watson from Nunes. Nunes had 1 point lead over Watson, and so they go into this final race, and it's basically whoever finishes ahead of the other guy, is going to win the championship, right? And they go into this, and these guys, I mean, it was full on fist fight, and they were driving each other rough. I mean, it just, and these are open buggies, and at one point, Nunes and Watson got into it. Watson flipped. They pushed him back over. Anyways, they got bumped around, and come to the last lap, a caution flies, and I think Watson's back there in fifth because of the rollover, fifth or sixth. I called it on TV. I said, you got to watch this kid. Watch what's going to happen. I said, he's got a championship. He's finished second in the championship 2 years in a row. He doesn't want to do it a third. I said, Elliott Watson's going to send it on this last lap. And lo and behold, you go into corner number one. He clipped like two cars, passed them both. It was a full-on Brian Deegan a la GRC Las Vegas when he went around the outside and passed like half the field. Elliott Watson, same exact move. Does it, and then he and Nunes get into it. Watson gets punted by Nunes. Nunes clips him. Watson goes through the infield. Everybody thought it was done. Well, Nunes, when they connected, he got so out of control, he tried to cut back on the track. Another car hit him. Watson passes Nunes in like the last corner of the race because Nunes was almost spinning out. It was like literally, I've never seen a points championship where the last lap of the last race of the season, the points championship changed hands like 4 times. It was crazy, Chris.
Man, Jim, it seemed like there was a lot of that out in, at Wild Horse Pass. And I mean, there are multiple people from Lucas that are going to make my list. I have a couple of honorable mentions too. In both of the UTV classes, those battles, not quite as intense as what you just described in Pro Buggy, but, a couple of drivers, Ronnie Anderson and Brock Hager, both doing everything they could to try and erase some points deficits. But, Corey Weller and Robert Stout doing just enough to hang on by single-digit margins. And, there were a lot of battles in the top classes, it seemed, that really came down to small margins like that. So, really exciting season, obviously, an interesting year for short course, and I think setting up an exciting 2020. So definitely looking forward to seeing what else comes out of it.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing what the Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series calendar looks like going into next year, because I think there's A lot of people are anxiously awaiting that. I heard there might be a few big surprises up Lucas's sleeve. But all that being said, Chris, let's roll into these power rankings here. Who did you have at number 5 on the list? And I got to tell you, I'm interested to see how our things stack up, because there was only a few series in action, but I think there's a lot to choose from. I'm really, really kind of interested to see. But who do you have at number 5?
Well, Jim, for my number 5, I am going to go to a truck, but I'm not going to go to a truck at Lucas. I am actually going to head down under, go to Stadium Super Trucks, and give Matt Brabham, the shout-out at my number 5. Posted 2-1 on the weekend. Now, I haven't seen SST officially call him the season champion, which makes me think that they'll probably throw one more round together, which is pretty common for Stadium Super Trucks. I mean, Robbie seems to, find no shortage of venues that are willing to host that product, and for very good reason. But Matt Brabham extends his points lead even a little bit further. I mean, he has been the king of passing trucks this season, and that's the exciting thing about the SST format is, you're a full field inversion every single time. You qualify first, you start dead last, and you get a point for every truck you pass. So if you go from dead last on the grid all the way to the top, you're taking home almost 10 bonus points probably every single race. And Matt Brabham has been doing that over and over and over again all season long. His points lead is well into the double digits. I mean, he'd basically have to sit out any other additional events, just sort of take some time off and hang out for anybody to remotely have a chance to catch him. So Matt Brabham, my number 5.
Yeah, Matty Brab's a kid. It's just an amazing talent. I know I posted something on Twitter and I actually got some response. But with Hinch being out of a ride, in IndyCar, Connor Daly being out of a ride, I said, if I hit the lottery, I said I'm fielding a 3-car IndyCar effort. It's going to be James Hinchcliffe, Connor Daly, and Matt Brabham. And everybody's like, dude, that would be an insane team. And I think Matty Brabs is one of those guys, like, he's found a home in Stadium Super Trucks. Let's not forget, though, this kid has IndyCar pedigree. We know the Brabham name, obviously, from Formula One and that. But Matty, I mean, this kid, he's an insane talent. And there's no doubt he could jump back into an IndyCar tomorrow and be competitive. And, I think at some point that opportunity is going to present itself. But, in the meantime, I'm enjoying seeing him race in Stadium Super Trucks, and I think he's figured that formula out, because if he's not on the podium, it's one of those like, oh, what happened, where's Matty Brabs at? It's an odd weekend when he's not on the podium. So no arguments with Matty Brabs at your number 5, Chris. But for my number 5, I am going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to go to Roger Penske, and not Penske Racing. I mean Roger Penske. Roger Penske got the Presidential Medal of Freedom this past week. And whether you love or hate our president, this isn't about the president. This is actually about the man, Roger Penske. And, what he's not only done for motorsports, but our country in general. I mean, this is the highest civilian honor that anybody in this country can receive. I think it's amazing. The only other person, in regards to motorsport that has ever got this award, I believe, is Richard Petty. So, that tells you the kind of company that Roger Penske's in there. So, for my number 5, I am going in. I don't know. Is that allowable? He's Roger Penske, right? I can throw him in here, right, Chris?
Jim, you keep asking me about the rules of your own playing field week after week. I think you can do whatever you like. When you start calling it Chris Leone's Down and Dirty show, you can ask me for rules clarifications. It's your show. I remember there was a few months ago when Robert Wickens got back in a car. I think he asked me for clarification on that, dude. Like, yes, it's like I said, it's your ball and you're playing field. But obviously, you can't say enough about what Roger Penske has done for motorsports over the past few decades. I was fortunate enough once to actually be interviewed for a gig at Team Penske, and just to be considered, was such an honor. Just to be able to visit the shop even for a day. I flew in and I flew back the same day. It was a hell of a morning, just to be there. It was stepping into a motorsports mecca, and something that I will never forget. Even to think about being associated with that name, Obviously, I'm here. I'm at iRacing, and I'm very happy, with everything else that I'm doing. But man, that was just cool to even think about. So certainly well-deserved, everything that Roger Penske has done within motorsports, even outside of motorsports. Hard left turn to number 4 then for me, because I think, I don't think you can get much further from Charlotte by going back to a wild horse pass for Lucas. I am going to give it to Jarrett Brooks, just hanging on for that Pro 2 championship by a couple of, of points over Rodrigo Ampudia.
Yeah, so close. I mean, that was a nail biter. I'm a good friend with Brooks and Ampudia. Chris, I got to tell you, I was a bit heartbroken for Ampudia, but at the same time, I was stoked for Brooks. Such a weird deal, but like we talked about, dude, everything went down to the wire for Lucas. I don't know how that worked, but amazing job with these championships coming down to the last round.
Definitely. I mean, just watching what I saw out of Arizona, I mean, it's so tough when you've got multiple drivers who are that deserving of a championship, and both Jarrett and Rodrigo really had some phenomenal seasons, and the future of short course is super bright with guys like that driving. I mean, we've had some veterans that have been around for decades. We've had guys like, Rob Mack, who have been stars forever. We've got guys like Brian Deegan, who, drawing massive numbers, and obviously they're still winning races. We've got RJ Anderson, who just about everything he touches, he seems to either win or come real close. But to have a couple of other guys like Jarrett and Rodrigo battling for the championship, I mean, it just shows how deep the field is. And, so for a guy like Jarrett to, have the season that he did, 4 victories, I think it was, be able to lock up that championship. I mean, I'm just so impressed with a season like that. He was impressive at Crandon when we saw him. He's been impressive, and building towards this for a long time. So certainly a well-deserved victory, but I'm sure Rodrigo's going to give him a run for his money next year.
Yeah, absolutely. And we got to take a short commercial break, and we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Anywhere is possible. It's more than just a slogan. Anywhere is possible with General Tire's wide variety of tires for whatever it is that you drive. Whether you're looking for off-road capability balanced with impressive on-road performance or ultra-high performance offering all-season traction designed with a driving enthusiast in mind, General Tire has what you need to get where you're going. General Tire, providing anywhere is possible with the Down and Dirty Radio Show since 2012.
4WP is more than a store. We're truck and Jeep experts and have been for over 50 years. From wheel and tire upgrades to full custom builds, 4WP has you covered. Whether you want to order the best parts online or shop in store, do the work yourself or get it done by a pro, all roads lead to 4WP. Do your rig right. Shop online or find your store at 4WP.com.
Like what you hear? Catch all the back episodes of the Down and Dirty Radio Show on Apple Podcast, and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver, Chris Leone here, going through our power rankings. I know we started out with Chris having Matt Brabham there at number 5. I had Roger Penske. Chris had Jarrett Brooks at number 4. Now, getting to my number 4, I got to say, Chris, you and I are on the same page. I had Jarrett Brooks, doing it for General Tire and Rigid Industries, took that nail-biter of a championship over Rodrigo Ampudia. And, anytime you can win the last race of the year and clinch the championship in that same race, I don't know. I think that's pretty big. So, just as you had said before the break, Jarrett Brooks, I mean, we don't need to re-go over anything, but I got to tell you, this kid, being at just about all the Lucas Oil short course races this year, out of the guys with a Pro 2 open engine, he found something. That truck was just that much faster than everybody else. Nobody had anything for Jarrett. Even the other drivers said so much. They go, we don't know what happened, but we didn't have anything. And I know next year he's going to be moving to that Pro 2 M engine package. So it's going to be interesting to see who all moves to that engine package, because I think you're going to have a lot of the heavy hitters doing it. So I think it really could shake things up if there's going to be any lone remaining guys with the Pro 2 open engine. But Jarrett Brooks, well deserved. The guy was on another level this year in Pro 2, and I think both of us having him at number 4, I think rightfully so.
For sure, Jim. And, it's just kind of a testament, though, to this week in power rankings and how much we've really bounced around. It makes this a fun week. It sort of harkens back to April, May, June, when we're going all around the world with, our power rankings, with some of the stuff that we've covered and some of the stuff that we are yet to cover in these power rankings. And, I'm actually going to jump right into that at number 3. I'm going to go to Lewis Hamilton. I'm going to go to the Mexican Grand Prix. It's interesting, though, to see Lewis Hamilton, he takes the win in Mexico, but he doesn't clinch the title in Mexico. And so we are actually, beyond almost all shadow of a doubt, we are going to see a Formula One world champion crowned on American soil this year, which is really, really cool and something that hasn't happened in a long time, certainly not with any regularity since, the United States Grand Prix was at Watkins Glen decades and decades ago, probably before either of us was even born. So, to see Lewis Hamilton take another victory, I think it was his 10th of the year. I mean, he's dominant. Whether you love him, whether you hate him, you have to respect him. You have to respect what he's done with Mercedes. You've still got to capitalize no matter how much better your car is than the rest of the field. So really impressed with what I've seen from Lewis Hamilton so far this year, and he's my number 3.
Yeah, and I got to say, Lewis did not make my list, and I guess part of it is because I think I've started taking him winning for granted. When he doesn't, I think it's a big shocker. And, I can't say I wasn't a Lewis Hamilton fan, but this year I've actually become a little bit of a fan. I think he's become more vocal in his support of certain things within the paddock, and he's using his power in Formula One, I think, to do right things instead of just taking the check. Obviously, he's taking the money, but I think he's using his power and influence to help make the sport better, and I really can applaud a driver for that. And so, like I said, I mean, Hamilton not on my list this week, but definitely well deserving of your spot. My spot for number 3, I'm going to go back to Australia and Stadium Super Trucks. You had him at number 5. I'm going to have Matty Brabham there at number 3 on my list. Like we said before, I mean, this kid, he's an all-world talent. I think you could put him in anything from open wheel to Stadium Super Trucks, probably even stock cars. I know if you put him in an IMSA car, he'd do well. He's been in V8 supercars in the past, raced the Indy 500. But Matty Brabham down there in Australia, he is a dual citizen, so calling both Australia and the United States in Indianapolis home. But Matty, going 1 and 2, finished second to Robbie Gordon in the first race, came back and took a win. He's got the points lead, like you had said. He hasn't been crowned champ. I think Robbie's probably got something up his sleeve. I don't know where that will be. Sometimes he'll even run something in January to close out the year. So be watching for whatever whenever that happens. But I think at this point, it would take a miracle to best Matty Brabham, and he's a solid number 3 on my list this week.
No doubt, Jim. I mean, like I said at the beginning, it's just always so impressive to watch what Matty Brabham has done. I would love to see Matt Brabham and Sheldon Creed doing full Stadium Super Truck seasons at the same time, at this point, because we know that obviously Robbie invented the format and won the first couple of titles. Then Sheldon comes out and Sheldon becomes, the dominant driver, the showstopper, and now you've got Matty Brabham about to lock up 2 titles. I mean, could you imagine what a points battle between Sheldon Creed and Matt Brabham for a full season would look like in those trucks? It'd be phenomenal.
Yeah, it would be insane. It would be next level. Be awesome. Color me interested in that, Chris. But who do you have at number 2 on your list? I got to think you're in my top 2 are probably going to be close. I just don't know the way they're going to slot in here. Who do you have at number 2?
Yeah, Jim, that is I figure there are probably 2 pretty obvious picks. And so my number 2, I'm going to go back to Arizona. I'm going to go back to Lucas. I am going to go to the Pro 4 champion, the race winner, and the Challenge Cup winner, taking home $30,000, Kyle LeDuc. And Kyle LeDuc had such a, disappointing by his standard season in 2018. Anytime you win, I think it was 4 championships in a row in a class, and you come back the next year and you don't get that 5th in a row, it's a disappointment. It's going to be, no matter what. But Kyle LeDuc bounced back, pretty hard, honestly, dating back to Wild Horse Pass last year. But 6 victories this season. Again, the Challenge Cup win, I mean, you know, that's got to be one of the best Pro 4 teams out there right now. And, you know, it was really cool to see them come back to, you know, Crandon. And, I mean, we were out there. I was on the gazebo right by the finish line, and he had a spectacular flip, you know, in one of the races on the Challenge Cup day at, you know, the World Championship day at Crandon. But, I mean, it's just been a spectacular season for Kyle LeDuc. Even when he didn't take the victory there, I mean, that was probably the moment of the race at Crandon. And just to see him get up on top of the truck, climb up, and just sort of gesture to the crowd, I mean, everybody was roaring. That was, you know, that was fantastic. So even when he doesn't win, he puts on a show, but, you know, he has done a lot more winning than anything else this year. So, you know, I've got to give a shout out to Kyle LeDuc for, you know, an amazing 2019 season anyway, but certainly I think worthy of the top 2 spot on my list this week.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I can't say I had LeDuc at number 2 on mine because I think maybe we probably flip-flop our 1s and 2s. So I'll get to LeDuc in a moment. But I'm going to go to Martinsville, Mr. Martin Truex, taking home the victory, you know, I guess stamping his way into the next round of the NASCAR playoffs. But Truex, I'm a massive fan of his, not only as a race car driver, but just on a personal level. You know, I think sometimes you got guys that are good race car drivers, and maybe they're not quite as good as of a human being. And I think Truex, he embodies everything that you would want your kid to have a poster on the wall of. You know, I just a big fan of Truex and the way he carries himself and the way he drives a race car. And, you know, and I think, you know, this whole playoff format with NASCAR is interesting because, you know, I think we've had years past where a guy like Kenseth won the championship and Kenseth never took a victory, you know, and now all of a sudden this playoff format comes in and, you know, you've got to win. You got to go. There's no laying up. I mean, you've got to send it. You got to be on point. And, you know, I think here on out, anybody who wins a NASCAR race, you know, that's in this chase is going to be on my list. But Truex definitely, I think, deserving of the number 2 spot on my list this week, Chris.
Yeah, definitely, Jim. And I think that's, you know, you're absolutely right. And it's funny because there have been times this season where, you know, I've tended to rank some of the off-road guys a little higher than NASCAR, and you've tended to rank the NASCAR guys sometimes a little higher than off-road. And this week it seems like order has finally been restored to the universe because I think you're going to have, you know, the big short course winner up at number 1, and I've got the big NASCAR winner up at number 1. When you lead well over 400 laps of a 500-lap race, I mean, you're putting yourself in rarefied air. And what's spectacular about what Truex did at Martinsville is really until this year, the man was not a short track driver. You know, he hadn't taken any victories in short tracks up until very, very recently. You know, was always great in the mile and a halves, you know, could be counted on just about anywhere to put in a good finish, but just hadn't taken the checkered flag on any of the short tracks. And, you know, finally gets that weight off his shoulder. And now, you know, there's not a single weak spot in the calendar, I think, for, you know, Martin Truex Jr. And frankly, I don't know, at this point, they just may have to be my favorite going into Homestead. I feel like that changes every single week, but with how big the momentum shifts are week after week, I mean, you know, knowing that you're locked in for Homestead, knowing that you can focus on getting things right for Homestead the next couple of weeks, you know, that is a huge advantage. All 7 other guys have got to be stressing out right now about, oh man, one of those spots is gone. We've only got 3 more, you know, we got to do what it takes to win this weekend. And if something falls through there, then we've only got 1 more shot at it. But, you know, not having that pressure on you, that's huge. You know, Truex has adapted very well to the format, and, you know, I'm just impressed to see what he has done since moving to Joe Gibbs. Obviously, furniture folding was a disappointment in the NASCAR landscape as a whole, but, you know, seeing what he's been able to do, sticking with Toyota, sticking with Joe Gibbs Racing, you know, their first season together with that team has been, you know, pretty huge.
Yeah, definitely been huge, and, you know, I don't know. I don't know what more to say, man. I'm just I'm a massive Truex fan, and I think, like you said, I'm a Truex fan enough that BetOnline.ag, our partners over there on the podcast Project Action on Podcast One, they gave me some. I won a football playoff thing, and they gave me $100 to bet. I actually threw $100 on Truex to win the NASCAR championship. So not only am I a fan, Chris, I stand to win quite a bit of money if Truex wins this championship. I'm just saying. So but that being said, I may be a biased radio host at this point, but I'm going to move to like you said. The reason why I had Truex at number 2 is because the guy at number 1, he won the last race of the year and won a championship. And I can tell you, if Truex would have won the championship this past weekend, which rightfully so, that may have been the win that wins him the championship. I will have him at number 1. But that being said, Kyle LeDuc, Pro 4 winner, Cup winner. He just needed to take the green flag to clinch the championship. He took the championship home this weekend. He laid up for the first couple of laps, said he was just kind of taking it in, doing a glory run, and then he looked at the field and the way things were shaping up, and caution came out. He goes, hey, I got a chance to win this thing. So he dropped the hammer, comes back, wins. I believe that's his 99th, and which is interesting because he's number 99, but his 99th career short course victory. So, he's, anytime you get that magical triple digits win in any motorsport, I feel like you're in very rarefied air. And for Kyle LeDuc to be sitting at number 99, you got to think it's going to come next year. That doesn't include desert racing, but 99 short course career wins. I mean, he just did it in style. Cup win, race win, championship. Kyle LeDuc, number 1 on my list, and rightfully so. I think, you could flip-flop him and Truex all day long, and it wouldn't really matter at this point.
Definitely a 1A, 1B kind of week. But, I'd be interested to see if anybody else had anybody, that high on their respective lists. I mean, I suppose it depends if you're that big of a Formula One fan, if you're somebody who, I don't know. I think it's real difficult to, pass Kyle LeDuc and Martin Truex Jr. on this week's list, though.
Yeah, I agree. And if anybody's got anybody else, I would love to. I'd love to see who you guys actually had on your list. So hit Chris and Up on Twitter, tag us with your top 5 because I would love to see him. But all that being said, we got to take a short commercial break, and we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our RZR vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of RZR vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a RZR 170 like me, take the entire family out in a RZR XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new RZR XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full Polaris RZR lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. When looking for a new wheel for your off-road vehicle, car, truck, or UTV, the choice is easy. You choose what the pros use. Rob McCachran, Keegan Kincaid, and myself, Jim Beaver, all exclusively use Vision Wheel, whether we're dominating Baja, taking the Cup at Crandon, or shredding UTVs. Vision Wheel's trend-setting designs and durability will set you apart from the competition and your friends. Check out visionwheel.com or at Vision Wheel on social media to learn more.
Like what you hear? Catch all the back episodes of the Down and Dirty Radio Show on Apple Podcast, and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Like to welcome T Stone to the show, who is out on the trail to SEMA. I know you guys are out in Johnson Valley right now, Tiff, right? Trying to do your best impression of King of the Hammers?
Kinda trying to do it. It was so weird because, we just spent the last few days in Big Bear and hit up 3 crazy trails out there. And, I'm really proud of myself for doing everything that I'm doing this year, for the simple fact of I am legit driving everything from start to finish, every boulder, every obstacle, everything that I can possibly do. I'm actually really trying to do it, so I'm pushing myself. But like you said, we're at Johnson Valley right now. I'm so used to calling it King of the Hammers, but we're at Johnson Valley right now, and I am literally, if anybody knows this and has been here, I am by the Tribe 16 fire pit right now. Hammertown is not here. There is nothing. We are the only RVs that are out here right now. And it's pretty cool. It's such a different feeling because I've actually never been out to Johnson Valley except for King of the Hammers.
That would be like a little bit surreal. And like you said, I've been to Johnson Valley for King of the Hammers, and that's about it. I've been by there like on my way going to Barstow and things like that. But that's got to be just so weird. I mean, you've got, we're used to 100,000 people out there just to be completely empty, and like you stand where you're at and know like 2.5, 3 months from now, that's, you're going to be in the center of this entire city that springs up out of nothing,
No, and the crazy thing is, Jim, and like we were talking, even like last week, you and I were like, are we going to be able to do the show this week? I legit have full LTE 4 bars Verizon wireless service in my RV right now, nowhere even near the big bush. Like I said, I'm by the Tribe 16 fire pit, and anybody who's been here, that is never possible to have great, amazing cell phone service where I'm actually able to still watch Netflix.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Without having to download it.
But you got to think, like, you're out there, there's nobody there, there's good service, and you and I both know come KOH, you'd be in that same spot, and you're going to have 100,000 people all fighting for the exact same, bars of service, and it's going to go in the toilet.
Yeah, and that's why I'm so fortunate that I'm part of the media group there, that I can just hang out in the media tent and use the Wi-Fi there. But other than that, it's difficult.
Yeah, it definitely is. So I got to give you props. So I know you were saying you're going to hit every trail and go over every rock. You posted a video, I think it was this morning, to Instagram. And it was like a legit, like kind of an uphill, like your Jeep. I mean, it wasn't anything like overly gnarly, but it was still like, I think there's a lot of people that probably wouldn't want to do that in their vehicle. And I looked at that and I'm like, dang, Tiff is like, I was impressed. I mean, I was impressed, T-Stone. Like, I'll go out there and say it. Like, it was pretty brutal, some of the stuff you were going through on the video you posted of your Jeep.
Yeah, and that's actually the second time. Like, the first video is a little longer. And like I was saying, I almost had my pretty what's happening type of moment. Other people call it the blank moment, but it's the same thing, and that's kind of like what I had, and I hit it. And anybody who knows, with rock crawling or anything like that, once your vehicle starts bouncing and once it starts moving, you just need to stop, because that's where things are going to start breaking. And so that's what happened. I get there, I've never had this moment, so when I'm trying to back down, I was pushing a little bit too much on the brake, and I'm still learning, and I'm fully putting that out there, still learning, starting to do stuff. But that front passenger tire started lifting good foot, 2 feet off the ground, where I was just either 3-wheeling or 2-wheeling it. So didn't post that part yet, but I'm going to. I'm saving that. But then everybody's like, back up, keep going. Like, don't stop. And it started leaning back a little bit, but I was able to catch it back and then just kind of back forward. And in the video and stuff like that, I was joking, and I was saying that I was having the moments where, like I said, pretty much I'll say it, I had an moment, and Jeremy, who was helping me lead up there, he was like, back it up, and got me right up that rock. So it's pretty cool to be able to, do a bunch of different things all at the same time and really push myself and kind of face those fears that I've had last year or even leading up, because I've only had 1 year of wheeling underneath my belt, and to push myself as much as I can, it makes me feel really good.
Well, and props to you for putting yourself out there and doing it. Because I think there's a lot of people just in life in general and even in the off-road community, they won't put themselves in situations to get better, to learn. Like if they can't do it perfect, they're not going to do it, And you put yourself out there and you're like, hey, look, just then you said, I'm not the best. I'm learning, though. You know what I mean? And I'm going to have failures, but, we're going to become a better driver. And I think that's awesome what you've done to put yourself out there because – and I know you're going to post that video and there's going to be there's going to be 100 people go, oh, I can do better. Oh, you're doing this wrong. You're doing that wrong. Well, you are, but you know what I mean? You're learning through this process. And those people, like, they can tell you that you're doing it wrong. I bet you they couldn't do it any better. I bet you they do it 10 times worse. They've probably never been behind the wheel. They're like armchair quarterback in the deal. But like, seriously, through this whole thing, Tiff, props to you for putting yourself out there and just wanting to learn,
No, thank you. I appreciate it. And I want to be better. I set out goals and I set out aspirations and I just want to do them. And like you said, it's fine when you have the person who's sitting there, just watching it on social media or watching it on Instagram being like, oh, that's not hard. I can do this better. But the thing is we wheel 10 days in a row, all day, every day. I have trials and tribulations for everything. The day before that, I was turtling on a rock and I couldn't get over the boulder and I was getting frustrated and it took me 15 minutes to get up, one obstacle because I tried so many different lines. And then Ian Johnson was like, Tiffany, just come right over here, follow me. And I was able to get up that obstacle in 39 seconds after it took me. So all it takes is just trials and tribulations and, trials and error and having a good spotter. And Ian Johnson is one of the greatest spotters, He knows the wheelbase of my vehicle, what's going to happen, what's going to do all this other stuff. So it's really cool to be able to have that a part of the team. And, like we were saying, each time I'm going to learn something else. And what people don't realize and what they don't understand is when you have 20 plus set of eyes all on your vehicle, all on you, that's a lot of nerves, that's a lot of feeling right there because like I said, I'm the newest one. I'm not necessarily like a weak link, but I'm the newest one to all of this stuff. So for me to be able to push myself and do some of the same trails that like Ian Johnson's doing, Holly with Mischief, I always turn cheap names so wrong, but with, and it's just so many people out here that are helping me. I really can't thank them enough to be able to push me a little farther.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's an interesting thing because it's, like you said, it's kind of trial by fire. You're put out there. You're out there with some veterans, and it's all eyes on you. So you're learning in the public eye, and I think that's an interesting concept. It's like me when I wanted to learn a reverse 180 in a car. I go and I find this wide open, pad where nobody's around, and I take a car at 35 miles an hour and just start whipping the steering wheel trying to learn how to do it, right? Well, 15 times later, like I've got them dialed in, but now I can do it on cue, but, and it looks cool. But the first 15 times I look like garbage, but nobody was around to know that, you know what I mean? And I think that's what's interesting by you is you're learning in the public eye. And that takes some thick skin, Tiff. Like I said before, like props to you because that's not something a lot of people could do.
Oh, no, don't. Thank you again for the props. But 2 days ago when we were in Big Bear, we were on John Bull, and like I was saying, it took me so long to get up one obstacle. Then I'm climbing up. I get a little too close to a tree, break my side mirror. It's still perfect because the way that I hit it, I didn't hit it that hard. So honestly, you couldn't even tell it's broken if you looked at it. Just, I need to fix that. And then I debeaded a tire. I'm not running bead locks because I still drive a lot on asphalt and I drive cross country. But if you've never debeaded your wheel, like if you've never had a wheel come off your tire while you're driving, and that video is on my Instagram, I posted a few days ago, that is some scary, scary sounds, especially if you're not even used to it. If you're not used to a sound like that and you hear something, all I heard was the big pop and then just dust goes everywhere. And I'm like, oh no, what did I just do? Because it's the same thing. You're learning what sounds your vehicles make. And once you learn what sounds your vehicles make, that's when you can really start doing. So, I know what I'm going to upgrade. I'm going to upgrade, a full skid plate. So I've been talking to everybody about the skid plates to get, and then I'm going to also upgrade into like some bigger steering. I want to upgrade, later on in life to some newer, bigger axles and stuff like that. But I'm building to my skill set. And once I've got this skill set honed in, then I'll go bigger, and then I'll build bigger. And then, like we've talked about before, my goal is to race the Ultra 4 King of the Hammers later on, and that's kind of where it'll be.
Yeah, well, and I think you're doing it right. You know, you're not getting in over your head. It's, you know, you've built something to your skill set, and you know, as you get better, the vehicle will get better, and it's absolutely the right way to do things. So, you know, I know you guys are just kind of getting started here with Trail to SEMA. Where have you been so far? Where are you going next, Tiff? Do you know? I know they've kept some of it kind of secret.
We started out in Gilbert, Arizona, so we hit up some trails, made a stop at Rigid Industries while we were there, and then we drove to Big Bear and spent the last 2 days in Big Bear, drove to Johnson Valley last night, and I'm pretty excited because we are doing a night run tonight, and we're actually doing Chocolate Thunder. So I will be trying to tackle Chocolate Thunder, which honestly, I'm kind of excited because when we're here for King of the Hammers, everybody is there, you know, and everybody, you know, I'm nervous about 20 set of eyes. Imagine 50,000 set of eyes trying to watch you. So I'm excited to tackle Chocolate Thunder tonight and do some of that. Plus Holly, she really, really wants to do Backdoor. So I might ride co-dog with her in Backdoor and try to do some of that stuff. So, you know, like we were talking, it's trial, it's error, it's learning, it's everything. And what you were saying is I'm putting myself out there. Many people could never or would never want to put themselves out there to make mistakes, to possibly fail in front of people. And I think that's what I'm really taking from this time. It's okay if you fail. It's okay if it doesn't work the first time. I've always said success is having everything, having it taken away from you, and then building up again. That is a successful person.
Yeah. So talking about Backdoor, you guys going to be going up or down Backdoor?
I don't know. I think we're going down Backdoor.
I was going to say that might be a little bit easier, except for the bottom part's always sketch.
Yeah, the bottom part's super sketch. I know it's a little washed out. I know that they move some boulders and stuff like that. So hopefully it'll be okay. We got here super, super late. It was so weird. Like I said, just driving in, I'm like, oh, there's Hammertown. Just look for all the lights. Not yesterday.
You get out there and it's like
desolate.
You know? That's crazy. That's nuts. Makes me want to be out there though. That's for sure. So, so when do you guys wrap up? I know you and I will be at the Off-Road Hall of Fame this weekend on Sunday for the big ceremony. And then you and I, we're doing a show with Racing Junk on Tuesday, Rigid Industries on Wednesday. I know we got a full pull, SEMA week, you and I, but, when are you guys actually getting into Vegas? You going to get any downtime by the pool before things get kicked off on Sunday, Tiff?
No, I'll get there late Saturday night. Then we do our wrap-up show Saturday night, and then I'll be at South Point with you on Sunday, and then our week starts. And then after that week, I drive back home.
Man, it's you're probably going to be welcome with some snow when you finally get to Michigan too.
Yeah, I heard it was supposed to snow last night in Big Bear, so who knows? Last time, remember, it snowed when we were out here, so you never know. It could actually snow anytime. I feel like wherever I go, snow follows me, or rain.
Yeah, you're just not meant to be a summer person, right? You're like Olaf from Frozen, just the snow cloud follows you around, a little flurry.
Jim, you want to know something? I've never seen Frozen. I have no idea what you're talking about.
You haven't seen Frozen? Yeah, well, it's a good Disney movie. It's a solid one. I'll at least have to send you a clip of this little snowman walking around with a flurry in the summertime. He's literally a snowman, and he's got a little cloud that puts flurries so he can walk around at in the summer, and when it's hot, and he still stays, quote unquote, frozen, I guess. So I don't know. Yeah. I don't know how the hell we're talking about Frozen on this show, but yeah, I went there. Yeah. All right, Tiff. Well, it was fun chatting, and you have some fun. I can't wait to see the pictures and videos that come out of Chocolate Thunder tonight. That'll be a blast.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. Thanks for letting me check in all the way from Johnson Valley on the lakebed.
All right. And we will be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. You want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris RZR because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRZR.com or follow at Polaris RZR on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story. It's more than just a slogan. Anywhere is possible with General Tire. General Tire's Grabber X3 mud terrain tire offers aggressive styling and is engineered for durability with innovative performance features that are ready to carry you through extreme mud, dirt, and rock-covered terrain. For extreme traction that's ready for anything and rugged styling to match, look no further than the Grabber X3 from General Tire. Make your anywhere possible by visiting GeneralTire.com today. General Tire, aggressive styling with the Down and Dirty Radio Show since 2012.
4WP is more than a store. We're truck and Jeep experts and have been for over 50 years. From wheel and tire upgrades to full custom builds, 4WP has you covered. Whether you want to order the best parts online or shop in store, do the work yourself or get it done by a pro, all roads lead to 4WP. Do your rig right. Shop online or find your store at 4WP.com.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. Super ATV is the industry leader in aftermarket UTV and ATV parts and accessories. Super ATV products are designed, engineered, tested, and manufactured right here by Super ATV. Whether you're looking to upgrade your suspension, get stronger axles, or you're looking for a new winch to get you out of a tough spot, Super ATV has what you're looking for. And since we know you're in a hurry, we offer fast, free shipping to the lower 48 states on all orders. Visit superatv.com now and get your UTV or ATV dialed in.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online, in syndication on networks across the U.S., and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
And that's all we've got this week on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Big thanks to all of our guests, Carl Schubitzke, Alex Striler, Chris Leone, Tiffany Stone. Obviously, once again, I'll be out at SEMA doing a couple of shows out there with RacingJunk.com, as well as Rigid Industries. Also doing an appearance for Gibson Exhaust. We're doing an Instagram takeover, so check us out. All those details to come on social media. Speaking of social media, it's at JimBeaver15. Check out all our content at downanddirtyshow.com. Other guests this week, we've had Rutledge Wood on Project Action. Also had a longer version of that interview with Carl Schubitzke there on the Off-Road Edition podcast. So check those out over on iTunes. Hit the subscribe button. Please help us rate, review, subscribe. It helps keep things going and, keeps us in business here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, as well as Project Action. So, yes, once again, Alex Striler, he's got a sponsorship summit. If you're a racer, check it out. Momo Weld, Speed Las Vegas, Tuesday night at SEMA. I believe it starts at 5:30, and it's going to be a great wealth of information. You don't want to miss that. So, all that happening out there. I will be at SEMA all week, so would love to meet some of the fans of the show. If you listen in, would be fun. Snap a picture with you guys and meet you, chat for a little bit. I would absolutely love that. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for the continued support of the show. Support all our amazing partners: Polaris RZR, 4-Wheel Parts, General Tire, Vision Wheel, Dirtfish Rally School. It's Down Dirty DF for 15% off at Dirtfish. Gibson Exhaust, obviously Rigid Industries, big supporter. Impact Race Products, our good friends at MyMedic. Use the coupon code JimBeaver for 15% off at MyMedic. 4-Wheel Parts, big supporter of the show as well. And Super ATV, keeping us dialed in with the best UTV parts in the business. So thank you guys. And I'm going to sign off for this week. I'm going to head out to the Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame Sunday and then SEMA show. Yes, it is going to be a slam pack week for me. Thank you guys. Be safe. Have a great week. And see you next time.